So there guys, welcome back to Towns with Charon and Velerious. Hello Velerious.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and pause the Derpsvilles. Oh man, they're gonna start doing that fucking lagging out thing. So, oh god, the performance is really crapping out on us, man.
Oh, yeah. That last render was, like, ridiculous.
I know, I'm gonna have to sell this sand at the earliest opportunity. I feel like that's something that might help, because it could just be the sheer amount of stuff.
If you remember, there was that video we watched when they were on about just the fact that, like, things on the floor started to make it lag.
Mm.
And there is an awful lot on the floor.
Well, we're gonna try and build...
Is there no sand barrels or anything?
We'd have to set some up. We'd have to build a ton of barrels and then set them all up.
Did we not ever assign any?
I don't think so, because they would be full if they were.
Well, what about that bottom corner?
The thing is, it's even the mouse is like lagging out.
Yeah, no, because everything's completely shafted on it, because it's like everything's just on the floor.
So we're going to carry on and try and build the wall anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically we might have to just do a suicide mission and just send everyone in down to the ghost room and kill them off.
And then they're all dead.
Because it is, the mouse is starting to spaz out. It's like really hard to do anything. And that means we're going to have to replace this with something else hilarious.
Oh, sell the sand.
I'm going to start selling sand.
Triple fire it.
Yeah, triple fire it.
And then maybe we should, like, buy fucking an expensive item off him so we can sell even more sand.
Yeah, that might be worth doing.
Yeah. Because at least then we've got, like, they'll have to just take the entire episode shipping sand to him, but it's like...
The sand shipping episode. I mean, we've got alternatives, so, you know...
We could buy some copper off him. Right. Yeah, might as well buy all that.
And just sell a bit more sand.
Yeah. We're even pushed by the bloody stone off him. He's got 18 stone.
Okay.
So it's like at least then we're buying like 18 stone for quite a high price and selling a shitload of sand instead to get rid of that from our fucking nation. Sand nation.
There we go. That's exactly all of his cash.
There you go then. 264 already shipped out.
Right. So that's a quarter of it gone.
Yep.
And then, as I say, if it does...
If it does alleviate it with selling quite a lot of the stuff and things like that, maybe then it'll be useful.
But if it doesn't, I mean, once the wall's built, we're going to suicide everyone and then start up a new series, which...
Because Towns has been going now for like, 3 years?
We've got
4 years in game.
Yeah, we've got like a couple of possibilities that we could do. So we'll have to have a chat and see what we think we want to replace it with.
That whole goblin head, though.
Yeah.
Don't you love him?
I could delete it. It's just one head.
Don't delete it. So Craig of us all will come down upon you with a vengeance.
Well, I mean, at this point...
You've still not built a wall. Door, sorry.
Oh, we need a door for it. Where do you want the door to be? Here?
Don't know. Wherever. You might want to cancel wherever you want the door to go, though.
Yeah. We just have a single door.
Yeah.
I'll just put it there.
It's not about going fancy with the fucking frame rate loss. Although, to be honest, look, that frame rate's going down already.
Yeah, that's helped a little bit.
It's stopped weirding out as much. I think it is just a case of all the sand. We need to just get shipping out.
Yeah, it could be.
Because obviously, as well, like iron and stone all goes straight into barrels.
I mean, it's still not smooth, is it? I mean, look how janky it is.
Well, it's still, as I say, like, all the sand just sits there and the glass and everything.
The thing is, I don't think they ever...
We just need to get that stone into barrels.
I don't think they ever anticipated that it would take that someone would play it for this long.
Probably not at this stage, because we're not on the final version of Towns.
Yeah,
but obviously on the final version of Towns, maybe someone would play it this long. I don't know how efficient it is.
It could well be caused by something like floating point errors.
Yeah, well, either that or just the vast quantity of sand laying on the floor is probably like because
if they're all like tagged as specific entities.
Well, yeah, they could have made it like an array. And the array increases in size based upon the items laid on the floor.
Yeah.
So the more you have laid on the floor, the bigger the array is going to get, and the more information it has to hold. But if you've got them in a barrel, instead it puts that array into a barrel, which makes it easier for it to comprehend it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of way that I'm thinking they probably went about it. Because it would be a lot easier to kind of like do it that way, but obviously you're suffering a massive loss if a lot of that array is like filled up then.
Yeah.
The ideal scenario would be to build, like, you know, several different arrays for different items that could go on the floor, things like that. Or even just, like, put certain things that are not that important, like sand. Just group sand as a fucking one.
So, do I just want... I'm just going to continue this, don't I? How are we going to... Are we going to have a ladder to, like, get up to the wall? So you can walk on top of it?
Probably, yeah.
So we can have, like, guards posted.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah, so if I keep doing it in strips,
Yeah.
I'll have it, like, 3 wide, maybe?
And then hopefully that'll use up our stone.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? It will use up the stone, which will mean there's less stone
We need to use
around.
up everything.
The fucking meat situation's still out of hand.
Yeah, but on the plus side, we haven't had anyone die from starvation for a long time.
It's been a good run, though.
The pigs should be really beefing back up now.
We've done a lot. But I do feel it would be nice to eventually replace this with something else.
Yeah.
Because, my God, I can't believe it's been 250 odd episodes.
253 this one is.
I know. It's so many.
Which, again, it's like, if you were doing that per week, how many would that be?
Well, we do.
So 253 weeks.
Yeah.
So for 4 years, then?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. And we've got to 4th year in towns.
Like 5 years.
It's pretty insane.
That's insane.
Are you sure we didn't have just like one day when we put like tons of them onto a week or something?
I don't know, maybe.
I'm sure we used to long ago.
We did have a period when we were putting it out a bit more
Yeah.
regularly before we settled down to the weekly schedule.
Because we had like other games that we wanted to play and we didn't want this to take up every kind of inch. Because the point of this was just it was a nice, easy game. You set things going and just have a nice little chat.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why we started it and all this business. It's like, you could still sit there and have a nice chat, but if it starts like majorly messing up the frame rate, the rendering starts getting incorrect, it starts making a host of problems.
It was something casual that we could play together.
Yeah, and it obviously is easier film.
Yeah. Because like we've considered like doing the guild, haven't we,
Yeah.
as a replacement. But again, it's like performance needs to be checked and like stability of like synchronization and stuff, because obviously we're playing on 2 separate PCs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would be nice to replace this with something we could just both play on one PC again.
Yeah.
I was thinking possibly something like Stardew Valley, because I've never played that. So you could teach me how to play Stardew Valley. We could start up a little derp farm.
Could do, yeah.
And go on something like that. Because that's quite a casual paced game as well.
I imagine the
There's a problem with the guild as well, is it's like, again, I don't know how to play it, so if I die really quick, we'd have to restart, and
that is a bit of an issue with the guild.
you know,
It's like you've got to have some kind of fallback on it.
yeah.
And it's
Whereas
like,
I don't think you can die in Stardew Valley. There's a set sort of
yeah.
time period you play across, and then at the end it's like, well, that's how well you did.
Well, you play for 3 years and then you get rated.
Yeah.
And then what happens after that is you continue playing as long as you want, and if you
Oh,
ever use
really?
a diamond, you can re-rate yourself.
Oh.
It's completely unended kind of way. You know,
Well,
like,
that could be quite a fun
Yeah.
one to do. We could do that then.
it reminds me of like ages ago I used to play Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town.
Yeah.
And one of the things that did was like after the first year, the mayor said like if you could stay or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so first year you meant to like, you know, get to know everyone, grow some plants, make it profitable and clear up the area.
Yeah.
If you don't clear up like 50% of the field or something, he gets really pissed off and kicks you out, basically. But the whole point behind that was like, you ended up kind of balancing all of that in the first year. Then in the second year, you could then do what you wanted, but then you wanted to settle down with a wife, because if you didn't, most of them moved away and everything.
Yeah.
So it gave you things to aim for all the time. However, they also had one really weird time frame where if you hit 50 years in game, you got a house that you could buy.
Yeah.
Which only came in the 50 years. Which was really weird, because it was like, every time I played Harvest Moon, I got to like, maybe 8 years.
Yeah.
And that was dedicated kind of playing. It's like, by the time you get to 50 years, you're filling up the entire field with sprinklers and everything.
Well, that's the thing. I figured we could devote plenty of time
Yeah.
to Stardew Valley. Do you know what I mean? It could be a nice sort of, you know,
The only issue with Stardew Valley is obviously it
just
saves us all when you sleep.
slowly working on it. Well, yeah, but that's
So
fine.
we'd have to figure it out by a day-by-day basis.
Yeah. We'd figure out how long roughly 20 minutes is, because we've got
Yeah.
the timer, and then just the next available night after that, boom, save, done.
Yeah.
Because you own it, don't you?
Yeah.
So we could do it on your PC.
It also means as well, when Towns does that, I can update my graphics card. Well, upgrade the graphics drivers.
You can try. It might not be, you know, as beneficial as you think.
Maybe not, but it could be super beneficial.
I had massive problems updating to fucking Crimson.
The one issue I've got with it, though, is like, I am now vastly out of date. It's
Well,
not
yeah,
just-
because they don't reproduce the catalyst drivers anymore, so the longer it goes, the further out of date you're going to get.
Yeah, but it's not like, I wasn't like a few months out of date when the catalyst ended. I was like 2 years out of date when that ended.
Yeah.
So I was still already massively out of date. I mean, you never know. People could be sat there now going, well, if you update the graphics drivers, maybe Towns will work fine. That's it. It's just Towns. It can't get all the graphics it needs.
Well, I've been thinking sooner or later I'm going to have to get a new computer.
Oh, God.
Because I've noticed games coming out now that I've been looking at that I don't need spec for anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit.
Which mine is like, that's getting...
Like,
I'm now like minimum recommended on them now.
Yeah.
Eventually I'm going to be out.
I'm only just over the minimum for Tomb Raider. I'm only
Yeah.
just over the minimum for Origami. And those didn't even come out this year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was looking at that Northgard that people have been playing. I only just meet spec for that. And there was something else I was looking at, and the spec is, the minimum is way higher than what I've got, and I'm like, shit. But I've been trying to put it off because my computer was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I've met spec for things for a lot of years now because I got this computer like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was pretty high spec back then. And so I've never really met many games that I can't run up until now. And I also didn't want to do it because most modern computers, if you buy a computer now, it's going to ship with Windows 10.
That's an issue.
And that is the main issue. And it's like
Yeah.
a lot of games won't run on Windows 10. There's no guarantee
Especially
that
with,
Vegas is going to work on Windows 10. I
if
can't
you-
afford to get a new version of
Well, if you don't want to
a
go
lot
with
of software that we use.
overclockers, most don't allow you to set it. Because overclockers themselves allow you to set what operating system it usually ships
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Where most systems don't. They usually just go like, oh, we've got like 12,000 of these systems, just stick Windows 10 all of them.
So the possibility is, I mean, I could ship it with Windows 7 at 64-bit, which is what I'm used to
Yeah.
using, which is what I know works with the setups that we have for filming and audio and all that stuff. And the series that are currently running the games and stuff. Because like, I bet this wouldn't run on Windows 10.
What, my computer?
No, this Town.
No, probably not, no.
You know what I mean?
Well, this thing done. I think the latest one does. I seem to remember reading the discussions about that.
But
The thing is, I don't really understand how things can't run on Windows 10. It's like, it's not much of a big change to get things working in Windows 10. I think it's just a case of like, Windows 10 itself is just fussy. Oh shit. And that fence is gone.
oh, well, it can't be helped. We're going to have to deal with
Look
it.
at the pigs though.
Ooh.
Wow, that's it. Kill all the cows. Kill them all!
What we're saying? Oh yeah, Windows 10.
Mm.
I was like, the thing is, if I ship it with Windows 7, I've then got to get all the fucking Windows updates, which is another pain.
It's probably...
And then there's gonna be games that require Windows 10 coming out. You know what I mean? So it still
Yeah.
doesn't defeat that object.
Well, you can eventually update to it.
True. But it does. It's just a very tricky situation,
I read an article
and
recently.
I don't really know what to do about it.
I read an article recently about the fact that apparently Windows 10 is now declining in popularity through Steam.
Yeah.
So they were in like 60% at some point. They're now in 40%. And all those percentages are going back to Windows 7.
I was sort of
like, wow.
hoping Windows 11 would be out by the time I need a new computer. So it doesn't feel so bad.
Yeah, but you never know what Windows 11 is going to be.
Well, the alternative is that I get a system and dual boot it. Have Windows 10 and Windows 7 on there.
Yeah.
But then you're looking at, 2 hard drives dedicated to OS.
The third alternative is you get a Linux machine and
Just emulate Windows.
emulate Windows 7 and Windows 10, so you only have to emulate it on one hard drive, which has the Linux on, which is fantastic at emulating things.
So I was like, what the fuck do I do? Do I dual boot? But then that means I have to buy Windows 7 and Windows 10 because I don't own Windows 7. Because it came with the computer, it's like I can't copy that onto a new computer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can copy it onto my own one multiple times because it's got like a backup thing.
You ever notice them wolves that attack, right? The person they attack never turns around. As though they can't attack back when being attacked. That guy up there's done it now. He's being attacked.
Oh, it's because he's ranged.
Gandalf.
He fires his wand.
Yeah, but look, he's now just started moving.
Yeah, his wand's
He
probably
wasn't
run out of
before.
charge.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Oh, someone died.
We lost one guy. That's not too bad for a big, massive siege, to be honest.
Especially for the back of town.
We've had a lot worse.
So,
So it's like, what do I do, man? What do I do? I need a new computer,
don't ever go near Windows 10.
but
It's an issue.
plus I worry that if I get Windows 7, I'm still going to end up on the fucking Catalyst drivers.
Well, what's even weirder is you might get a new computer, get Windows 10 on it, and then like Windows 11 will be brought out and everyone will be upgrading to that.
Yeah, and it'll
And then
be way
it's
better.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they might even give it to you for free, and it could be worse.
Well, that's true.
You never know. You could wait all this time for Windows 11 to come around, and Windows 11 could be so bad that people literally just go back to Windows 10.
Yeah.
Which I don't think will ever happen. People just keep going back to Windows 7. Windows 7 is like so good.
I think the
now
last
that
Steam
it's
survey I saw showed Windows 7 64 is still the most used.
The
gaming
one thing
operating
that I
system.
find quite funny as well was we used to have people come around, speak about computing stuff at the university.
Yeah.
And one of the things was like someone came round and they were like, "Oh, a new business we had recently wanted the update to Windows 10."
Yeah.
And he was like, bearing in mind this business has like 40 individual computers. It's not a massive one, but it's like 40 computers need to be updated to Windows 10.
Yeah.
And he was like, and this guy was like, yeah, but he says you can do it for free and everything. It's like, yeah, but none of your networking programs will work with it.
Yeah.
Or your security and everything will now be outdated.
Oh, yeah.
So you will have to upgrade everything to update to Windows 10. He was like, so why are they giving it away free? And he's like, because no one wants to fucking upgrade everything.
Yeah.
Why would you want to pay for Windows 10 on top of having to upgrade your entire system? It's like, it's a shit idea.
It was like when I put off...
Why did they not just make a Windows 10 that was compatible with Windows 7?
Yeah. It's when I put off like the Windows XP upgrade for ages, because I had Windows XP, and when Vista came out, I was like, fuck that, I'll just use XP, it's fine. And it was fine, and the great thing about XP is because I'd used it so long, I knew how it all worked. If anything went weird, I knew where to go and fix it and stuff. And when I first moved on to Vista, it was like, I was like, oh my god, okay, how do I change this? How do I do that?
Yeah.
Windows 7, when you go down the taskbar, it pops up the little fucking window. It's like, fuck off with your little shitty window. And it's like trying to disable that is so hard. I've got a program now that disables it and allows me to like drag and drop the buttons and put them in the right order and not group them together and stuff.
That's
so
nice.
like, because like when I open Steam, it opens Friends on the left and Steam on the right. So this program allows me to drag Friends to the right where it should be. Because I want my Steam on the left and my Friends on the right. Why would I want them the other way around? That's retarded. It's just bizarre that like basic functionality like that still isn't in.
The funniest thing is when you go on Windows 10, right? My laptop had to run Windows 10 because it was installed with Windows 10. Didn't have a Windows 7 to put on there, so I was like, oh, I've got to have Windows 10. So I went online and was like, got Windows 10, want Windows 7, right? Literally, I just typed something like that, and some guy was like, oh yeah, what you do is install this program. I saw you delete that.
No.
You install this program, right, that does like a theme, okay?
Okay.
And he was like, but the one difference is, instead of doing just like a normal theme, it just themes it like Windows 7, puts all the same buttons back on, all the logos back on, the little thing at the bottom, and then it scripts it all to run the same as Windows 7, so if you open the start button, it runs like a Windows 7 start thing, not the Windows 10, which opens up with fucking news and shit, and it's like, why? Why would I want any kind of fucking Wi-Fi shit?
What was that fucking sidebar thing that like that was one of the very first things I disabled, like some weird thing over here with a clock on and shit. I was like, what the fuck is this?
That's all the time on Windows 10.
Oh my god.
It's really annoying. I mean, there's some people that do like that kind of stuff. There's like, there's one I was looking online where this guy has a Windows 10 PC that literally, like, it shows everything about his PC at all time. What the fans are running, what temperatures he's running, everything is, like, monitored and listed on the top right of the screen, so you can just go look. And it's like, that's quite nice. Until you realise that that's probably not the right things that you get in there, because half the things that I get never predict my shit right. Like when I get, like, GPU, fucking, whatever it's called. The thing that we use, that. And like the first time I got that, it just didn't list my graphics card properly. It just thought I was running an old graphics card that my computer used to have, and it's like, well, I know I uninstalled everything from there, so I don't even know how you've got the idea that I've got this graphics card still in there. So I uninstalled GPU-Z, put it back on, worked. It was like, why? Why did Windows tell you the incorrect fucking thing?
Because it's like...
Windows itself doesn't know what it's doing.
So many things they don't fix that they should do. You know what I mean? Just basic fucking everyday things.
It just feels like Windows is just like an old man that you've just installed on your PC to do everything for you.
If anyone's interested, by the way, Taskbar Tweaker 7 is the program you want for Windows 7 that allows you to... It ungroups the buttons, allows you to drag and drop them into the right positions and stuff, and it's got a bunch of other options. It can deal with your icons in your system tray and, like... work with those for you. It can change like the way that you want and tab and stuff like that. It's really handy if you have like a set way that you like to do things.
I also
it's got a lot of options on.
Rather than Windows Copy thing, I use that Terra Copy.
Yeah,
that's available for Windows 10. I made sure of that. When I looked that up, I was like, oh god, I can't live without that.
Yeah, that's the thing, innit?
I can't leave the copying up to Windows again. Jeez.
I know.
Fucking Windows. And then, like, you go and cut something and paste somewhere. It's like, Windows has encountered a fatal error and deleted all your work. It's like, Terra Copy's like, hey, we were going to cut that stuff, but we decided not to because we've just got an error. It's like, oh, thanks. That's really fucking helpful. That's better than fucking Windows.
Hey, I fucking like Windows 7 as well. Like, there's a known bug in there where it's like, if you Control and C... sometimes it doesn't copy.
Oh, yeah.
And likewise, if you print screen, it doesn't always print screen.
So you have to tap print
So
screen several times.
so if I want to do
Control C
something with
several
print
times.
screen, I hammer it like 3 or 4 times to make sure it's fucking got it.
I do that, and I do
the same with
copying thing,
Control C. I hold Control, hit C about 5 times.
I never used to get that. It then just suddenly cropped up.
It was something that happened in a Windows update, and they never fucking fixed it.
It's so annoying.
And it was just like, what the fuck, guys? Really?
And this is the reason why I've
broke
turned off Windows
copy-pasting
updates.
one of the most basic fucking functionalities.
This is the reason why I turn off Windows updates and just never fucking do them. It's like it goes like, every single
But then
Windows update.
you run into something where you need like that fucking Telltale Batman game that I couldn't run because it needed some obscure fucking Windows update that was like optional. So I went and fucking got it and it made it run, but it still runs like shit. So I'm like, fuck.
Uninstall.
I did actually uninstalled. I was like, I can't even. I tried to fix it and then I was like,
no, what you do is you install all that, right? And then you restore to a previous version of your computer, so it uninstalls the Windows update.
The problem is now I worry that about the next episode of Walking Dead, whether it's going to be the same issue. Because up until then, all Telltale games have run perfectly fine on my system. And it's just Batman. Whatever they changed in Batman that required that Windows update, it runs like a piece of shit.
It's probably to make it compatible with
it's
fucking
all
Windows
out of
10.
sync and it's all laggy and stuff, and it's just like I can't figure it out. There's a thread on Steam with like about 800 people with the same issue, and obviously there's the usual fucking heroes in there going, "Oh, it's update your graphics drivers or do this or do that." It's like
verify your
mate,
game
really.
cache, uninstall Steam, delete your client blob, put it back on again.
Are you running it on a laptop? No, I'm not running it on a fucking laptop. Do you meet spec? Yes, I meet spec. I massively meet spec on
Could
that.
potentially your computer be overheating?
Yeah.
How long have you owned your computer?
Is your computer overheating?
You're like, no, and it's like, how long have you owned your computer? A year. Oh, well, I change my computer every 3 months. Update the entire thing, re-glue a new CPU, change out the tubes, and then I get water cooling, because I like the water cooling. Is your water filtration system backed up?
It's like, oh, that's it. There's a goldfish in my water filtration tank. That's what it was.
Glad I could be of service. If you'd like to fill in this helpful survey and give me a 0 out of 10.
It's like there's the same. I still have that fucking problem with XCOM as well. Like I can't run XCOM EU.
I still like that thing of when you install Windows, right, and you put in your key for Windows, and it goes, please phone Windows to make sure this is a legitimate key.
Oh,
it's like, fuck off Windows, for fuck's sake.
Isn't it?
It's like, you only are now
It's like, why bother?
this.
Why bother even have the keys? Why don't you just make me fucking ring up?
Yeah.
And I'll suck your dick and you can install Windows for me.
You have to ring up and they're like, oh, you want to install the Windows? Oh, I'm not quite sure about that. Maybe if you're telling me your key and you read out the key and they go, oh, that doesn't match any of the keys I've got on the system here. Maybe perhaps you should tell me it again. And you read it again, they go, 82. Yes, 82. 82. Oh, yes, that one works fine now.
The thing is that they have that helpline where you ring up, and like you say, it's somewhere in India, and you always get someone who's Indian on the thing.
I was trying to get
they're helpful,
Indian.
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But then they wonder why people get so confused and fall for the scam when they get rung up by someone going, oh, I am from Windows. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, of course you are. I recognise you.
I am from Microsoft Bimbos.
It's like the amount of people that fall for that shit. And that's why, I think, because they just assume it's legit. Because why wouldn't you? If you've already rung them and you realise the call centre's in India, you just sort of think, oh yeah.
But the reason they do that as well, I mean, it's kind of our fault. Because of the fact that over here in the UK, no one wants to work in a fucking call centre. So obviously you give it to people who would work in a call centre because they've got better stuff. Yeah, but you don't have that many, is what I'm saying.
What's weird is that they put the call centres in the weirdest fucking places.
What's weird is the fact that when you ring Amazon, you get an American person.
Yeah.
That's like, what?
Well, I
phoned them up and they were like, well, howdy there, folks. Got yourself
my bank had their call centre in Scotland, which is weird, because when you ring up, you've got people who are Scottish, and it's like, not too bad with most of them, but there's always that one who's got the most ridiculously thick Scottish accent, and you cannot understand what they're saying at all.
The worst one is when you phone up any kind of educational committee in the United Kingdom, and it takes you to Wales. That is just fucking stupid. It's like, I can't understand the Welsh accent at all.
The one I have the most...
Even a light Welsh accent.
Is the Geordies. The Newcastle accent. I can't. Oh my god.
What about the chavs?
I can not too bad with the chavs, maybe because I lived in Manchester a lot.
You just phone up and they're like, alright mate, welcome to the job centre, call centre,
I'm not even too bad
centre
with
plus.
the Indian ones. I can sort of, for the most part, unless it's a really ridiculously thick accent.
I struggle with it because I have a hearing issue. But at the same time, I still have anxiety as well, that I don't want to sit there and say to them, oh, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Because it sounds like I've done something wrong. by not understanding.
The worst thing is, like, where I work as well, their tech support, which is quite vital to the business, is in India as well. But it's also, quite often you'll get a really bad line. So it's like, it's really quiet as well. And it's like, I rang it up like a few weeks ago and I was like, I just can't even hear you. And I said, it's so quiet. You're going to have to shout.
Just in the background, you just get,
And I've had the same thing again for work when I rung. They had a call centre that was in Ireland, and again it was just like it was so faint and crackly, and I'm like, how is this your call centre line? It's like I can't hear a thing. I'm in the same country pretty much. I mean, it's only Ireland. It's not that far away.
And then you phone up some people and like you phone them up, right, and they're so fat.
No.
You can hear.
You can hear how fat they are.
You can hear the shaking of their chins and the grease running over the fingers from the chicken that they've just eaten. While they're sat there going, "How may I help you?" And it's like, "Oh God, please no."
What fucking weird, dodgy sex lines have you been ringing?
Oh, all of them. I love them. No, that was actually the Windows pushing phone guy.
I just noticed the time as well. Yeah. So I'm going to pause, Velerious, and we're going to call it there. If you'd like to say bye-bye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.